for the first time. We've been very excited for this.
So Portillo's is a very famous hot dog joint, hot dog chain in Chicago, and it's also known for its cake shakes.
It's like I'm just eating a really cold cake.
We went to a Chinatown festival. We didn't get to film much of it because we were just kind of in and out in a pretty quick amount of time, but it was beautiful. We bought some really fun charms and stickers from a local artist and just had a wonderful time.
The next day was a jam-packed day all the way through. So one of the first things we did was we went to the Shed Aquarium. They have a lot of different species of fish and other aquatic life from all over the world. So we got to see a dolphin show, and we got to see lots of cool different habitats. And it was organized by region of the world and different types of rivers and lakes and oceans that they come from. It was really cool to learn about.
Well, what's up, buddy? Hi. Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Tom.
Hello, I'm Emily. I just wanted to say it was really nice for me to get to go back because I'm from Chicago and I haven't gotten to do a lot of the really exciting touristy downtown stuff that I got to do on this trip, and it was really cool, I think, for me to get to see it through a fresh pair of eyes because, Tom, you've never been to Chicago before.
I also was such a privilege to get to go with a native who knows the area and knows the public transit system and got me set up really well. And the city was incredible, just so beautiful and so much culture. And we definitely pushed ourselves to the limit to see it and experience it as much as possible. And I'm super excited to share that with you guys. Right after Shed Aquarium, we walked across the campus and went to the Field Museum. There was a huge array of different historical and cultural exhibits that we visited, and we hardly got to see a third of the museum. Everything was spectacular. Right after the Field Museum, we took a walk down the lakefront. We saw this adorable family of ducks. We went kayaking in the lake, just inside of the lagoon they created for the marina right there. She jumped in the water, and I had to stay out because I was actually on a call at the time, which sucks, but glad we were still able to make the most of it.
It'll take you up or down. From rats on up to riches, 15 minutes you can fly. Pretty blue lights along the way help you right on by. And the blue lights shining with a heavenly grace help you right on by.
So once we were done with the lake, we actually walked to Millennium Park. So Millennium Park has the iconic Chicago landmark called Cloud Gate, which is more colloquially known as the Bean to everyone, including native Chicagoans. So we got to walk around the Bean and see kind of what our reflections looked like on the side of it and under it, and also get to see the city landscape, and that was really cool. And there's also another more hidden gem in Millennium Park called the Crown Fountain. So the Art Institute students, they sketch pictures of faces, and then eventually around every 15 or 20 minutes the faces look like they're spitting out water. The thing is that these screens are so giant that when the faces spit out water, they're like little children who gather under the water spouts to get splashed, and it's really cute. I did that when I was a kid, so it was cool to share that memory with Tom. It's his first deep dish pizza in Chicago.
I taught Michael prefer Chicago style deep dish over the other styles of pizza. Sorry, I don't pick the rules, I just have to live by them. One of the other common attractions that you'll see recommended to you in Chicago is the architecture tour by boat along the river. And we did that the next day, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You can see I have a ton of photos here. I have way more that I have to put somewhere else because otherwise we'd be here for an hour. And I definitely recommend it. It's a great way to spend an afternoon and absolutely beautiful.
Early to start the rounds. A 10-minute ride from the Gold Coast back makes you show your pleasure bound. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning and all the people have gone.
So after the architecture tour, we had some lunch with friends, and then I took Tom to my old stomping grounds to Humboldt Park, which is a predominantly Puerto Rican neighborhood. So we saw a lot of the shops and businesses. All of them had Puerto Rican flags on there, and you'll see the picture of the giant Puerto Rican flag sculpture. It was really cool to get to see the amount of pride in that community there. So it was nice to get to show Tom a piece of Chicago that wasn't just like downtown.
So I must say that we did this one pretty perfectly. We booked that night to go up to SkyDeck, which is the top of Willis Tower, formerly known as Sears Tower. And we booked it right at sunset, so we got up there and basically the sun was like starting to set, and I don't know if it was necessarily busy. There were certainly a lot of people there, but we moved through it pretty quickly and really actually had a lot of time to enjoy ourselves, and I would recommend it very much as something to do if you've never done it before in Chicago. And you can see some beautiful shots that I got from up there of the skyline as the sun set.
Only one to watch. The shorties in the water trying to come across the border, trying to find a way to swim around the big black gates. They grow up to bang MS-13 with their band.
The next day we went to MSI, the Museum of Science and Industry.
We also got a shot of this Rube Goldberg machine, which was downstairs in the cafeteria. So there was quite a few people, including like field trips with like school children, just looking at this Rube Goldberg machine, and it was really cool to see. So it was a gift, I think, from Sweden.
Baby, don't you wanna go?
I spent a ton of camera time on this beautiful model they have of the city and the surrounding industrial regions that represent the connection between the industry and economy, industry outside the city and economy in the city and within the city.
Come on, baby, don't you make me let high. Baby, don't you wanna go?
Yeah, this was my second attempt at the mirror maze. I attempted it once in high school, and this is my first time successfully getting out of the mirror maze. And then there was also this really cool like motion sensor projector thing that I got to do.
We got to go see a comedy show at a place called Second City. It's a very famous comedy club. It's been in Chicago for a very long time. We went there for one of their regular shows, and it's called Don't Quit Your Daydream. It was a combination of sketch comedy and some improv, incredibly magnificent performances, had us absolutely losing it regularly, and I would highly recommend. I would have gone there multiple nights had I known how much fun it is. Next time, it's going to be a thing that we do every single time we're in Chicago.
I can speak a little bit more about Second City. It has been around since 1959. There have been many comics who got their start there. Steve Carell, Bill Murray, Cecily Strong from SNL. It's just a couple examples. So it's definitely a really cool place to see innovations in comedy, and I'm very glad we got to go.
Before we even went to Chicago or finally decided to go, I knew that if I did get to go, I would have to go see some jazz-related event there. I know that jazz has been in Chicago for a very, very long time. It's deep in the roots of the city. And we got to go to Andy's after Second City, so we went to their late night set, which was incredible. It was so much fun and so dynamic, and they called a friend up on stage, and it was just a wonderful evening and musical experience. And the food was also actually incredibly delicious and not overpriced, actually, so we had a really great time.
Parted a little bit. Tom will talk a little bit more about working at Lollapalooza, but during that time I went to see some old friends. So I went first to the Chicago Cultural Center, which is really a hidden gem of the city. The architecture within the Cultural Center is beautiful. It used to be the main library branch before the library expanded. But now it's a free art museum, so there are a lot of cool exhibits in there. There's like a teen showcase the day that I was there. And then afterwards I went to a high school on the south side because there was a dance program that I did. And I came back to visit as an alum, and I got a picture with the director. His name is Pierre. He's amazing. And so that was a really great time as well.
Part of the way that we organized this trip was that I had an opportunity to work Lollapalooza, and Emily had always wanted to go. The first day that I worked the whole day, so I worked 12 hours straight, and I actually loved the experience. The event was incredibly well organized, and my job was part of a team within the guest services called Safe Fest. We wandered the festival with signs, providing either information or any other kind of assistance that we could, as well as being a point of communication to the other teams in the festival. We were really able to help a lot of people. We got to be in the crowds when something happened to somebody and respond to them much more quickly, and be able to provide some level of assistance while other teams were on their way, and also providing an easier handoff to those teams when they did arrive so that we could then get out of there safely. So it was an incredible program, an incredible experience. I'm lucky to have worked with this team. Every day was a little bit different. You know, the second day and third day, both I only worked half days, and on Friday we spent the rest of the time doing family things, and on Saturday we spent the second half as attendees. Emily got to come for the whole day. I worked the first half of the day and then attended the second half, and I'll let Emily speak to her experiences.
Yeah, so I picked Saturday to be the one day that I went just because I really liked the lineup throughout the whole day. So I spent some time with Bonnie and Clyde, Tom Odell, Nora and Pure. Oh yeah, I met up with EDM Ladies of Chicago during that time, and that was really fun. I think it was really cool for me because it was my first big music festival ever, and it was so meaningful for it to be in like a city that I was from, because I had heard about Lollapalooza since I was a kid. So to get to go was, in some ways, it's just like a dream come true. It was really nice for me to like have that half day to just kind of get the feel of the festival by myself before getting to spend some time with Tom. I think it was definitely an experience I really enjoyed. I'd love to come back to Lollapalooza or to festivals in general. I really see now why people like seeing their favorite artists live.
And that was the end of our trip. We were absolutely exhausted by that point, mentally and physically. The family things that we did were not inconsequential. They were deep and meaningful things. And so every day was a complex experience of both the culture and Emily's history in the place. And I cannot wait to come back. We are planning to make this somewhat regular, as best we can afford, especially if I can continue to work in that respected Lollapalooza. I think I would go back and do that again.
Yeah, I think this is a really meaningful trip for me because I got to share a place that I love with a person that I love. And getting to kind of share those new experiences is really meaningful, especially knowing how much Tom was taken with the city, and also with my family and how much my family was taken with Tom. So yeah, I think that this is one of the best trips I've ever been on. Probably the best trip I've organized myself. It was a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it. So yeah, Chicago is a really cool destination. 10 out of 10, maybe 9.5 because I was so tired by the end, but
yeah. If we had better shoes, it would have been an 11 out of 10. In the city of Scotland Valley.